My nigga. When I die. Hallelujah. By and by. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Wednesday, ready to do some podcasts. And find us everywhere you get podcasts. A programming note, it is that time of year again. I want to say it was 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But we were locked in the house. Okay. It was quarantine time. Everything was shut down, and we started a coronavirus sale. It was, look, we're going to be stuck in the house for a while. We don't know when we're getting out. Some of y'all may want a little extra blackout tips in your life because it's just life is life and there's not as much to do.
Right.
And so we have a sale. It is $100 for a year of all our premium shows.
For the whole year.
Balls Deep Sports, Pregame, Lip Smacking Good, Nerd Off, movie reviews, all that stuff. And you can get behind the paywall that easily. We have an episode we put out earlier today that's basically just informing you of that. You can click the link in there. You can go to our website, theblackouttips.com. You can click the link there, go to our website, either create an account or upgrade your old account. And yeah, get in on this. You know, for those who signed up last year, don't worry about it. It's going to renew automatically.
Yes.
So if you don't want it to renew, go to your PayPal account and cancel it.
Yeah.
Cancel the subscription.
Yeah, we wanted you just so you won't be like, well, damn.
Yeah, we don't want to like.
No, we know
we're not trying to get over on anybody.
Mm-mm.
We want people that want to listen and want to support.
Right.
You know. And then that being said, at the end of this I think it's May 15th. I'm gonna have to go through and do like an audit of all the accounts and make sure they're up to date because sometimes it gets wires crossed and there's people that have access that shouldn't, there's people that don't, that should, and then there's all that stuff. If you have any issues, you can always email me, theblackouttips@gmail.com. And I think that's it for now. Oh, and Stripe isn't available this time because Stripe has this issue where it doesn't rebuild people. So that's another reason I have to audit it, is that there's people that just have access that only pay like one time because Stripe never goes back and checks. So I've tried to work on it. They've given me the runaround. So
okay, but just know, it's something that you're trying to get them to correct because you're like, I know I can't be the first person that wants y'all to auto take.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's it. The official weapon of the show is
the taser,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball, extreme. All kinds of stuff to really get to today. I guess we can start with just some regular ass news, maybe, because I don't have any new coronavirus news. I mean, it's only been a day, and everybody's been slacking on it, you know. So I'm sure that stuff has happened. I just don't know that people are reporting it, you know, as often as they used to. But yeah, let's get into some new regular ass news then. Whenever the instrumental wants to play. All right, take your time, computer. All right, cool. Well, you know, we're just gonna vamp for a second as the computer decides whether or not to play music at this segment. All right, let's just pretend that it started playing. Yeah.
Again?
It's not coronavirus news. It was just regular ass news.
Oh, regular ass news.
All right, whatever. This
regular ass news.
I'm just afraid this program will start working about like 30 seconds into me doing an article.
Nothing spectacular, just that regular lame ass news.
All right.
I made my own theme song now.
It's
terrible because I can't sing, but y'all get the gist.
All right. All right. So I don't think it's gonna play. Let's just go ahead and what that is extremely wild. That has never happened before.
It's like nope. It's fucking with you.
Damn, this shit went hard. All right.
It was worth it.
A Delta plane made an emergency descent after leaky bathrooms jammed its controls and shut down the autopilot.
What?
Yeah. Did not know that was a thing. I feel like, this is the kind of thing we don't want to get out into the world, because like if you want to sabotage a plane, now all you know what you got to do is make the bathroom start leaking. I mean, come on.
Right. We already talked about how half the people don't want to use it no way. It's like emergencies only.
Seemed like a pretty huge design flaw.
Look like you would waterproof that bitch.
You know what's going on in the bathroom a lot? Leaks.
Right?
Leaks of all kinds.
You might not get through here with bullet terrorists, but all you gotta do is flood the floors.
So flooding from 2 bathrooms caused ice to form around the plane controls. The crew declared an emergency and descended before the pilots could get enough control to land at JFK. What do you mean descended before they could get enough control?
Oh, because they said it took over like the autopilot and shit like that. So it might have been something where they may have had to turn the autopilot.
I know, but are you listening to the sentence I just read? The crew declared an emergency and descended before the pilots could get enough control to land at JFK. What does that fucking mean? Before the pilots could get enough control? So
the plane did it on its own.
Yeah, so even though the autopilot was frozen and malfunctioning, they still had to rely on the autopilot to land the plane. That's scary as shit.
I don't know if they couldn't turn the autopilot off because of the water. You know what I'm saying? So autopilot might be like, okay, we descended. They're like, no, bitch, no, don't descend. And they couldn't turn it off. Like, I'm assuming something like that happened. It was like a major malfunction, because I'm assuming that they have control of when they turn it on and off. Like, because shit happens in the sky all of the time. I would hate for you to be up there and your automatic air brakes for the airplane pump on and all of a sudden we descending because you can't control that shit.
Well, let's read and find out if you're right. The toilet was leaking in one bathroom and the filter under the sink was leaking in another. Crew members restricted bathroom use and tried to clean up as much water from the floor as they could. Oh, that time they couldn't act all high and mighty about y'all need to clean it because it wasn't nobody else's fault.
Right.
But the crew then found that the plane's autopilot systems had disconnected and they were not able to reconnect them. So so the autopilot didn't land them. The pilots also experienced issues with the plane's roll control, which means the plane was gradually drifting to the right. Oh my God. Like a 96 Honda
right.
Honda Civic.
Honda Accord, like, you know how you going down, just let your hands off the wheel. That bitch like, you know what? I feel like drifting to the right.
Somebody just didn't get the damn the alignment last time they went to the mechanic for the plane. It's like, just replace 3 of the tires, man. I know what I'm doing.
Somebody didn't get a good rotating balance of them wheels.
Y'all always trying to upsell somebody. So yeah, they said they were unable to fix the drift. After talking with dispatch and maintenance control, the pilots were given permission to descend to 9,000 feet, where the ice could melt back in the water. The flight ultimately landed at JFK after the pilots were able to operate to control the wheel again at 12,000 feet. So it was a typo or something. It said it descended before the pilots could get enough. Oh, I see what it means. Not it landed. It descended, melting the ice. Then the pilots got enough control that they could land at JFK. That's the mystery is solved.
Okay. Okay, because sound like it froze. They was like, oh, bitches froze. They was like, we can't do nothing. It was like, well, that ice got to melt, so they had to, drop, right? Yeah, the first sentence just didn't make sense to me because they meant this. I was reading descended like they landed at the airport. Like, oh, they descended back to the ground. No, they descended to where the ice would melt and then they could control the plane. Then they landed. No one was hurt. They said the incident was likely due to human error with workers not closing the drain mast heater circuit breakers during maintenance before the flight. The water will likely flow to the plane's controls in the main landing gear wheel well where it froze, they said. The plane was taken for repairs after it landed. Oh, somebody forgot to close the door. Right. That sounds like somebody doing that shit on the ground. That's why we'll be on the ground. I'm like, take your time. I don't want to get up in there and some fuck shit happen. Mm-hmm. Shut. If we got to wait here 3 hours for you to shut that door, bitch, I'll sit here. A town forced argumentative parents to be the umpires at the kids' Little League games. Hold on with me, bitch. and do it yourself.
I love this.
Right. They realize that shit ain't as easy as you think it is.
First of all, they don't pay them people enough to watch out sorry ass kids. And they definitely don't pay them enough to give a fuck about the outcome beyond trying to just do a good job and facilitate the game. Like, motherfuckers act like the umpires in on a fix, like it's the motherfucking the Chicago Black Sox or some shit.
And bitch, y'all ain't nobody on this. The average child, unless you like special, and we probably won't find that out for years to come, is not getting a grant or scholarship. Nobody's getting paid, and they don't pay them enough to listen to you fucking yell at them about how your kids should get all the goddamn time.
It wouldn't matter if every last kid on the team was going to the fucking Major League Baseball. It wouldn't matter. They're fucking kids. I don't care. And nobody else does either. Y'all the only people that care this much. And you get crazy. You get it's like, even in the NBA, it's a bad call every night. You just have to be like, damn, that sucks. It was a bad call. It went against us. I thought it would go the other way. These motherfucking parents be acting like they you know, like you on the take. You know, like you like somebody got
betting on the games. The fuck?
Like somebody got 7, you know, I'll put 7 smackers on the West Park softball little league team. Like nobody cares, bro.
You're like, nigga, they 7. You be like, the little kid out in right field is watching the fucking butterflies. What are we talking about here?
It's T-ball, and now I'm supposed to, as a referee who's probably doing this because I either desperately need $15 or because I care about my community.
Right.
Now I gotta fight a grown ass man or I'm gonna get jumped by some parents because they don't like the results. Insane. And your kids are watching this shit. What lessons are they learning from your dumb ass?
Agreed.
So yeah, man, I get it. That is a great fit punishment. And it should be this way the whole time. You do it then. You know, y'all the motherfucking ones that's biased anyway. You watch, you're gonna get out there, you're gonna see how hard it is to call it fair, or you're gonna do some bias shit and you get your ass whooped, and you should. Like, it's good. You're cheating to help your kid, and then the people can go beat your ass to help their kids, and now I can stay out of it.
Correct.
So yeah, and a lot of times the refs and umpires they're volunteers.
Yeah, in some situations they are.
Like, they're not going to referee school for this shit. In a lot of cases, it's just somebody want to help the community, and this is a way to facilitate the thing. Because you know what the real key to little league is in all these little rec league sports? Time. And by time, I mean it's about getting you off the field for the next team to come on the field. Mm-hmm. It's not. This ain't the motherfucking. This ain't.
We got 15 minutes in another game, bitch. Come on, let's go.
This ain't ESPN. This ain't TNT. We not doing commercial breaks and shit.
Ain't no cameras out here.
Ain't no one gives a fuck about your triple overtime, dude. Like, that's why it's running clocks and all these like rec leagues.
Yes.
Because time is the thing. It's like, I promise you an hour of your kid getting to run around and try to be good at sports. There you go. It was an hour. Guess what? Yes, everybody got to go home.
That's right. You paid $310 for this whole league, and I promise you, like you said, an hour game, first little practice, and that's what you get.
You the only one sitting around obsessed talking about, well, you know, if you look at my kids' advanced metrics, nigga, what? No, nobody care.
Nobody.
We don't care how many rebounds per LeBron down the court. Like, no one's
that person here.
No one's measuring your child. So stop. Anyway, the town had a trouble with these referees and umpires getting abused by the parents. So yeah, now they said if a parent or another spectator fights with an umpire, they have to volunteer to officiate themselves for at least 3 upcoming games.
Right.
You're not allowed to come onto our complex until you complete 3 umpire assignments. Once you do that, then we'll let you come back.
Good, you're not allowed to come, which means if you were just talking, just the yik-yakking and just the talking, which means bitch, you basically banned yourself. Good. Fuck them.
There you go. So Karen sounds like she's watching her kids' little league team right now.
Yeah, because I'm mad at the other parents for acting a fool. Because my baby, if I had a child, my baby would be out there just having a good time and living their best life, and they gotta look at your crazy ass up here arguing.
A man in China kidnapped his own granddaughter for a $72,000 ransom so he could continue gambling.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Pawpaw was banned.
Yeah.
Pawpaw, he ain't got to worry about banning himself like them parents. We'll ban you from the family. Take my baby. I'm talking about some $72,000.
A Shanghai man was sentenced to prison for kidnapping his own granddaughter so he can maintain his gambling addiction with ransom money. The kidnapping, orchestrated by a 65-year-old man identified only by his surname, Yan, was first reported by the Shanghai Law and Rule Journal. The legal news outlet didn't specify when the incident occurred, but wrote on April 18th that he had just started serving his prison sentence. Man, I'm just trying to imagine calling your daughter or son to be like, I got your baby.
Did it disguise his voice? That was like, Daddy,
right?
Why are you calling me? Right. I want 72,000. You got my child. If you don't quit fucking around,
right? And like, it's kind of an empty threat if they know it's you, because they know you're not gonna hurt the baby. But
right, they know you're not gonna hurt the baby. Got his iPhone on. You know, grandpa and the family plan and don't know the iPhone tracker, but we can see you right now.
Right, he probably was on FaceTime by accident.
Yes, he was calling them and shit.
He picked up the plan by picking up he started off the plan by picking up his 4-year-old granddaughter from her kindergarten, taking her out to eat and shot with her without her mother's knowledge. Well, number one, you're now you're the number one suspect.
Right. You could pick your baby up. You're like, your daddy was we just when you going, why did my daddy pick my child up?
The way they try to solve crimes, typically, they want to know the last person with the baby.
Yes.
And you're gonna be the last person.
Yes, you are. Because nobody else.
You picked them up from the daycare.
Right, which means that you probably was on the list of approved people to get the kid.
They don't just let anybody do that. The girl's mother arrived at the school, realized her daughter was missing. She received a message from Yan demanding $72,000.
So when she looked at the phone, it was like pop. I want that 72,000. What?
Anonymous message from me.
Well,
she knew
his picture popped up with him and the grandbaby, because that's the picture she got saved to them, because that's what she liked.
She knew it was him because he put the whole message in the title of the email.
Yes, he did. Punctuations and all.
She called Yan to persuade him to give up the plot, but failed to sway him. So he said, "Give me this money or you'll never see your precious granddaughter again." He was arrested that evening after his daughter reported him to the police. And he was charged with extortion and sent to prison.
Yeah, goddamn right.
He protested the charges in court, saying the kidnapping should be considered a family dispute, not a crime.
What? You took the child against the parents' will is a problem.
Yeah. We was just arguing about, when to give her kid back for a certain amount of money. It wasn't actually a crime. See, I know what you're thinking. It's because she's a kid and I took her, you thinking, kidnapping, but actually she was taking a literal nap. She was at grandpa's house napping. So it's a different type of kidnapping, Your Honor. You can't press charges on that. That's just babysitting. I was just babysitting and I wanted to charge them $72,000 of babysitting. She's a lot.
I'm trying to get a return on my investment for when I took care of her.
She's a lot, he pleaded not guilty. He was desperate for ransom money because he run up a heavy gambling debt and was diagnosed with stomach cancer. His wife divorced him, and he's down bad. He began neglecting his business because of gambling habits.
Oh, so the mama already knew what was up. She was like, no, nigga, you need to get your life together.
While serving his sentence, he went on a hunger strike and had difficulty getting along with other prisoners. He said, "I'm 65 years old and my daughter still comes after me. She doesn't want me to improve. She just wants me to die." And they be like, "Well, what did you do?" I mean, okay, I kidnapped my granddaughter, but damn.
Won't nobody come visit me, and I don't understand why.
Like, I don't get why y'all making, like, what that's got to do with anything.
Why is this a big thing? I mean, everybody kidnap their grandkids every now and then.
People always say family matter more than money. So I don't understand. Just because I kidnap my family, y'all gonna let money come between us?
I mean, they said blood was thick. I mean, damn, I guess our blood ain't that thick then.
But he stopped resisting after his daughter and ex-wife contacted him in prison. Then he started cooperating with prison authorities. The kidnapping has since been shared on social media by police departments. It's gonna make a hell of a movie. Like, I know this is China, but somewhere there's a Korean 10-episode series about this shit.
You know it is.
Several major Chinese
I can't wait till it gets subtitled, a dubbed. I'm gonna be watching it.
Several major Chinese news outlets, such as state-owned daily The Paper, have also carried the story. So yeah, man. What do you do when your granddad kidnaps your daughter?
Right.
I mean, when your dad kidnaps your daughter.
And the baby didn't even know what was happening. The baby, having a good time, enjoying. He took it out and shit. The child is like, hey.
Frequent shootings put the U.S. mass killings on a record pace. Yeah, let's go.
America.
USA.
Fuck yeah.
USA.
We're number one.
We love to see it. Okay? You wish you could do this across the pond. You wish. Okay? I don't even know who's second, but I bet you it's not close. The U.S. is setting a record pace.
We're sweeping them.
You know who's probably second? Us.
You know what? You know who probably second? Another state. They was like, we look at it in totality, and this one state is right behind the whole United States of America.
We're setting the record, but it's basically because, like, it's like when Usain Bolt beats his own record. We beating ourselves.
It's like United States number one, and the next 50 is all the 50 states.
The carnage has taken 88 lives and 17 mass killings over 111 days. Each time the killers wield firearms, only in 2009 was marked by as many such tragedies in the same period of time. And just the last week, 4 partygoers were slain, 32 injured, and they're just going through each one of these. It's Nashville, farm workers in Northern California sprayed with bullets over a workplace grudge, dancers at a ballroom outside of Los Angeles massacred as they celebrated the Lunar New Year. The shooting in Dadeville, Alabama, which was a Sweet 16 celebration, and a man just released from prison fatally shot 4 people, including his parents, in Bowdoin, Maine, before opening fire on motorists traveling a busy interstate highway.
And y'all do know that they kind of had laws, and so when they had these laws, it was like, hey, y'all can't have certain guns. These numbers went down, and the Republicans slowly chipped that shit, and now the numbers went back up.
Yep. So yeah, we are off the charts right now. We're setting the pace right now.
Number one.
And
not in a good way.
Our Congress and Senate is basically held up by a bunch of Republicans who aren't going to do shit.
I agree. Voting matters, people. I will say that. Continue to say that.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's go to this story. 2 women are facing a wave of hate after they were labeled mean girls in a video that posted by on TikTok by this influencer. Okay, so I saw this video going around and it was kind of interesting. Oh wait, did they take it down? Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's gone down now because the original person that posted it.
There's someone out there.
Okay, so what can y'all see? Do y'all see the Instagram on my screen or no?
No.
Okay, give me a second. So this posted to her Instagram now. But I guess this is the woman. She put Sporty Spice. This is the woman that was supposedly mocking the other woman, and people went and I guess found out about her or some shit.
What was she mocking? Like, I don't.
So this woman was at a baseball game.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think that's the influencer I just showed y'all. Okay. So now I can show. Son of a bitch. First of all, white woman voice. There should come with trigger warning for that. Why does TikTok not have another voice, and why did woke black people not get on top of that and change that?
Right.
I just feel like there has to be a better voice. But anyway, so yeah, this is the video she posted, and the white girl voice will explain it.
Watch my confidence disappear after these random girls make fun of me for taking pics. Okay, feeling my Spice vibes. Was this necessary?
Thank you.
Criminally offensive side-eye. Starts recording me. calling her bestie ick. I can literally hear the whole convo. Realizing they are talking about me, feeling super self-conscious. I wanted to cry.
So she posted that video, and you know, people were basically like, yo, these two random girls are mean, and they're mean girls, and da da da. And so to the rescue, you know, social media knows only how to really do one thing, and it's always okay when it's your side.
That's what they do.
So that's not what I'm saying. No.
Okay.
The video went viral, had 33 million views, and so people doxed the girls that were mocking her. So
what? It went to that extreme.
Yeah, I mean, because of course people online was like, even Cardi B said, put that ring to use, basically saying, with that big ass ring you got on, go over there and beat their ass, type of thing. People, so then people went and started, finding the women's LinkedIn accounts, what they studied at college, the businesses that where they were believably employed. Prompted internet users to leave a slew of 1-star reviews on the company's Yelp page. So like trying to basically fuck these women's lives up because they did something that I would consider mean. I do consider it mean and not nice, but also like it kind of got ridiculous on all counts,
Yeah, because it's kind of one of them things where everybody could be wrong at the same time because they didn't actually be recorded. Like I'm here to enjoy the game. I didn't know I was gonna be on your TikTok.
One TikToker appeared to get caught up in the doxing crossfire. She said viewers mistook her for one of the women in the video. She posted a video that received 1.3 million views where she stitched the TikToker's video from April 23rd and wrote in an on-screen caption that she received insults for something she didn't do, and asked people in her caption to stop harassing her and her mother. In a follow-up, she said she and her family have received so much abuse that she had to go private on her Instagram account, but people simply took this as proof of her guilt. You can never win, she said in the video.
No, you can't. No, you can't. And that's why, truthfully, for a lot of people, I'll joke aside, they go, this is why I don't have social media accounts. This is why I'm not online. This is why I don't like people randomly pulling up their phones and fucking recording me against my will and shit like that. And because it's like, I didn't ask for this. And now all of a sudden I'm in the middle of some fuck shit over not trying to find something that probably would have been a normal interaction any other time.
Yeah, they could apparently. So they went to someone's Instagram that they thought was one of the women, in the video that was being a mean girl. And they'll tell you how many times the profile has been viewed recently. It had been viewed 6.9 million times.
Goddamn.
And if it was viewing it, people was leaving comments, DMs, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, and people, when they do this shit, people don't really think about what happened if people get mistakenly wrong. Like with Beyonce and Jay-Z, they was hitting up Rachel Ray, the cook. She's like, bitch, all I'm trying to make is 30 minutes or less meals. The fuck, why am I getting beehives in my posts when I post pasta noodles in 20 minutes?
What's wild is that this is, to me, the thing I'm talking about. The thing, it's a theme throughout our show. When I talk about beef and that reaction to it, or I talk about the anger online and the hate communities and how they always need somebody new to hate. And I think the thing that people don't realize, and this is a both sides thing. I know that's the dreaded word, the dreaded phrase.
But in this case, it really is.
But it's a both sides thing, in my opinion, is because if you stop both groups, they all think they're the fucking heroes of the story.
Yes.
And they'll tell you, I'm standing up for this person. I'm against the bullies. No, you're doxing strangers online because they were at best rude. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need to be rude. That does suck, but it shouldn't be a fucking social death. It shouldn't be you don't get to have a job because you could also make the argument this woman was trying to do a TikTok and I'm watching the game and now I'm in your fucking TikTok.
Yes, and I
didn't opt into that.
Correct.
So it's the overreaction is crazy, but I guarantee you, to the people that contribute and participate, in this type of, doxing stuff, none of them feel like they're wrong.
Right.
They all feel like they're helping. It's the free Britney shit all over again.
When they don't actually care about anybody involved.
Yeah, which I saw another video from Britney, and it was interesting to see how more and more people are starting to go, I don't think she's well.
No shit.
I guess now it's okay to say, but I was always like, yo, you guys are not concerned with her health or well-being. You're just using her to virtue signal. Y'all don't really give a fuck, and you definitely don't care about the fallouts, because it went to the extreme of nothing's wrong with her. She's like any other celebrity, just she should be able to do whatever she wants. And I'm like, dog, you don't fall into conservatorships. It's just It's hard to get someone put in one, specifically because of the pitfalls of what we talk about when someone's in a conservatorship and they don't have their rights, so it's hard to do that, especially someone like her, like someone with her amount of agency. So I'm not, obviously that doesn't mean her father's a good person or her family was managing it right, but the way that we just overly simplify to like, well then fuck it, like nothing's wrong with her. Like now you're all concerned and none of you afraid to fucking say so.
Having the police come to our house and shit.
Yeah, that shit got out of control fast, and I almost hate to be right about it, but I was right,
Right.
No, like and it didn't even seem like a hard thing to be right about. I think it's literally just people are so obsessed with making these things so fucking simple, and like saying this makes me a good person because I'm the one who can see that she just needs to be free. Let's start a movement. Let's, and then when shit like this is happening, nobody wants to say shit.
Of course.
All right, let's move on to some other news. Segment should we do? How about maybe LGBTQ news? Let's do that. Oh, that's right. The thing takes forever to play. All right, let's see if it'll play.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news. I try to take it down, but we still around. We lit. I try to still shine, but we on the ride. We lit. But you can't do what we thought to do. We lit. That guy. LGBTQ news.
Oh, and let me add one more thing about those fucking influencers, the people that went after that woman. That's another reason you should mind your fucking business. Cause like now y'all the victims of shit, but y'all were being just assholes. And you didn't need to be. And it reminds me of when people like talk shit to someone who has a lot of Twitter followers or something, and then be like, oh my God, this is unfair for you to reply to me. All I did was call you a stupid ass bitch. And you're like, wait, what? Does no one understand how this works? You can't punch Debo and then be like, damn, Debo hit me back. Like, you a bully now for using your power. So it's funny to me, like when you seen her setting up with the whole thing, it never crossed their minds like she might have 258,000 followers.
They never thought, because they thought she was a nobody. That's why they, and I chose that. That's why they felt comfortable doing it in the first place.
Yeah, that shit was stupid.
Because I think if they would have thought about the consequences of it, they would have never did it.
Yeah, that shit was dumb. All right, now LGBTQ news. Montana transgender lawmaker faces censure or expulsion. The lawmaker Zoe Zephyr got barred from the House floor for the rest of the 2023 session on Wednesday in retaliation for her rebuking colleagues and then participating in protests after they banned gender-affirming care for children. Very similar to Tennessee. In a lot of ways, we don't even know if this stuff is quote unquote legal. It's definitely a stunt to some extent because well, it was a stunt in Tennessee to an extent because everyone that did participate in banning those lawmakers also knew that they were much more likely to come right back within a week or two, or in a certain amount of process, and it may not have even been legal, but the optics of it is what they wanted.
Oh yeah, the optics and confusion. It's purposely to confuse people, because once people get confused, a lot of people aren't going to take the extra effort to actually find out what's real and what's not. And so whatever a lot of times the first, like I'm not trying funny, almost like the coronavirus, the booster shots and shit. People get that first information and they don't dig no further.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me is like the naked power Republicans covet and the lack of any level of like actual even appearance of thought. Like it's literally just, we have the power, we're gonna do the thing, and it's like that's not legal, but they know our system is going to protect them. The laws they violate are not the kind of laws you even go to jail for. And the way the legal system takes its time to get things right, it's on their side to be like, yeah, we're gonna start some shit. The law won't get around to even bothering to try to like have repercussions, sometimes for months and years.
Yeah, and then when it does, it'll slowly get passed up underneath the thing where we can't do it no more. But by then, people be done forgot, or whatever we put out there is gonna be the facts no matter what.
Well, it's not just that. I'm saying the repercussions. Like, they're not looking at big repercussions. They're not going like, fuck, man, I'm scared because they're investigating this, and whenever we have a trial, if I'm found guilty, I may have to go to jail for 7 years. That's not even what they're worried about. They're like, maybe at best we'll get a reprimand or a fine.
Right.
So of course they're not really worried about this shit. But yeah, the punishment marks the first time in nearly half a century that Montana lawmakers have sought to censure one of their own. It caps a week-long standoff between her and the House Republican leaders and formalizes their decision to not let Zephyr speak, since she said those supportive of such a ban would have blood on their hands, which is literally the truth. Zephyr, they don't like they'll let a bloody lie live, but a bloody truth. Zephyr will be able to vote and participate in committees, but not discuss proposals and amendments that are under consideration with the full House. The legislative session is set to end early May. The fight over Zephyr's remarks has brought the nationwide debate over protest role in democracy to Montana, where lawmakers punished her for voicing dissent, an increasingly prevalent move in state houses. In supporting Zephyr's attempts to regain her voice, protesters have interrupted proceedings by chanting and unfurling banners that read "Democracy dies here." Here's one thing I will say though, and I think it's definitely nakedly about power. Republicans often participate in the protest movements and the lobbying voices of the right? You know, like they don't mind being amongst the angry right people, but there is a line, right? Like, there's a reason that you didn't see like actual politicians on the stand during the January 6th rally when they knew what was about to happen. They purposely kept their distance, right? They're like, I'll send my son. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna walk in the White House in the Capitol building with them and my gun. I'm not stupid, but I'll unlock the door. You know, I'll be in the group chat on whatever, on Trump media or Truth Social. I'll be over there, right? But they weren't stupid enough to like do it, right? Now, obviously, because they know some criminal shit can happen, they know that this is about to be violence and stuff. On our side, who do you think fucking elected the people that are protesting with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's representation for them. There's people who are protesters. There's people who are disruptors who want a voice in our system too. Right. And that's gonna always end up being on the Democrat side, right? It's not gonna, you know, sometimes when it's on the other side, it's, you know, it's Trump, it's the Tea Party, you know. But on this side, you know, the people that protest for rights, this is their politician. So it's reciprocal. She is literally representing a community. This community has her back. And guess what they're still doing? Still protesting.
Right.
It don't matter what you make her do. They're like, that ain't got shit to do with us.
Nope, I'm not in office.
I'm gonna be interrupting you. And so they're trying to just quash the voice. They're trying to stop her from even voicing dissent, from even calling out exactly what they're doing. And that is the way that Republicans fight. They just shut down your voice. And then they be out here talking about, but my free speech. My free speech to call you a racial slur, my free speech to peddle lies about stealing elections or vaccines, my free speech to call you out your name with a slur about your sexuality, to misgender you. Now it's my free speech. But actual free fucking speech, actual dissent, they shutting down.
Right. And the thing is, what happens a lot of times is when they get in the office, they pass laws, like you say, so that they make the tactics that you do illegal. And so a lot of times you quote unquote have to break the law in order to continue to dissent, because they make it where every time you try to do things, well, we're going to shut that down. 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 And for some people, when they shut it down, and not trying funny, if they don't have like a fighting kind of spirit in them, they'll be like, what else the rules? And a lot of people would tell them, those are rules, those are laws. They changed them. Why y'all out there fighting? You just want to stir up trouble. But people are like, well, that's the point of me continuing to fight, because these fuckers keep stripping all of the things that I'm trying to do. And if we just be like, well, that's what the rule is, nothing will get done, and they will roll over us and take all our rights.
Yeah, the other thing to this too is like they're making these people stars that they hate. So these Republicans are turning people that most people were like not paying that much attention to. Like maybe on election day there was some celebration, like, oh wow, we have a trans lawmaker actually in Wisconsin. Wow, that's such a big deal. And then everybody goes back to just business as usual because you don't live there. You're raising the profile of these are the next leaders and voices in the party, and it's because of you, because of your fear of them.
Yep. And they're gonna start running for bigger and bigger seats because you put them on the map.
And they're gonna get funding from the DNC. Because people now, it's like we have to invest in the future of our party. So thanks. Anyway, House passes federal transgender sports ban. The bill passed along strict party lines. Marjorie Taylor Greene called trans kids terrorists to celebrate. Now it probably won't pass the Senate. So it's kind of dead in the water. But yeah, it's a statement. They know what they're saying.
Of course.
You know, that's really all the House for the Republicans is gonna be now.
Yep.
It's just their ways of making a cultural, social statement because they have no policy. They want to actually pass. They want to pass societal things or put out societal impulses into the world to feed those. But like actual policy,
right? Shit that actually matters. No,
like a budget. They fighting right now just to get enough votes to pass a budget, some type of budget. Because they're as obstructionists. They would rather be responsible tanking the economy, or not even rather. I'm not even saying they would rather do it. Some of them, enough of them, would rather be responsible for doing nothing and that fucking up the country than doing something and doing their fucking jobs.
Right. And like you said, this quote unquote, back to the both sides things. The shit they doing is a lot of the shit that people don't left do when they fucking don't vote. Because you know what? Nothing happens. And when nothing happens, these dumb fuckers on the Democratic side will go do something. And you're like, well, bitch, we can't. Like, maybe that's just me. And I'm just tired of people just acting like numbers don't matter and elected officials don't matter. And who you vote for and who you put in these offices don't matter, because they're due. It does. So when they decide not to pass the budget, let's say something happened and they're like, we're not passing no budget, and all of a sudden shit not running. All of a sudden you're going to have these people come out the woodworks, these fuckers that didn't vote, these fuckers that complain about every goddamn thing. They'll come out the woodworks and act like something can be done when it actually can't unless they agree to shit.
Let's see. Caitlyn Jenner says being trans has become oversaturated due to indoctrination and hateful rant. In an interview with Breitbart, This is the only places that will talk to her, by the way, and none of them take her seriously. I guarantee you the comments on that fucking article is still a bunch of people being like, fuck you, misgendering her and all that shit too. I don't know what she thinks she gets from this, but she literally has no home now and never will.
Nope, not anymore.
It's just fucking stupid. But yeah, so she's still cooning. Let's see. The so-called don't say gay rules have now been expanded through 12th grade in Florida. We told you.
That was the goal.
Like, this is the thing. Like, I'm not unreasonable. I don't feel like I'm some type of extremist. These things, this topic just feels extremely simple to me as far as a topic, right? Like, I understand the complexities of gender and presentation, and there's a bunch of hangups. And 100 years from now, people could feel 100% different about things than we feel today. That's just how it works, right? And we're all kind of in an ever expanding world of definitions and change. That being said, when they said, we just don't want to teach grade school kids too much about sex, it's too early. I'm like, but I know y'all don't want anyone learning or talking or having tolerance or acceptance when it comes to LGBTQ people. Y'all don't want anybody to have that. So while we're giving you a wedge in the door with that, we're just going to stop. It's just the young kids, like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. They don't need to know about it yet. They're still learning so much. Just learn your arithmetic, And I'm like, that's never going to stop.
Nope.
And so, and that's at the time that they're still doing stuff like attacking colleges. Now, those aren't minors.
Right. These are full ass adults.
Where they're going after doctors. They're going after people in a lot of areas on 100. And then they come to this one and go, no, we just mean like it should be fine for up until 4th grade. Like up to grade 3, we just don't want anybody learning about sexual orientation and gender identity. It's too confusing. The kids can't handle it. We got other priorities. They need to be learning cursive and shit. And then, it's going so well. Why don't we just go ahead and extend this thing all the way through all the schools in every grade? And that's what they're doing, 4th through 12th now.
Of course, that was the plan all along.
So your kid's never going to hear about it. And for Black people that hopefully it's not too many of y'all listening, but for Black people that go, I don't care about this shit, you probably fast forward through this segment. But for y'all, critical race theory, they feel the same way about.
Yes, they do.
And if it starts with, we just don't want to make white kids feel bad up to the 3rd grade, it's going to end with, we don't want to make white kids feel bad ever. And by white kids, we mean white people. And by white people, we mean we're not teaching anybody anything about the actual history of the United States.
Nope.
We just going to teach everybody the name of the founding fathers.
And that's it. We taking it all out. We're going to scratch the Jews. We're going to scratch internment camps here. We're going to scratch all that shit.
Right. Like it's not a coincidence, man. Florida bills would ban gender studies, limit trans pronouns, and erode tenure. A raft of laws proposed by the legislature's GOP majority would transform how Florida educates children.
Yeah, because they want to get a lot of the educators out of the system. A lot of the people that actually are fighting them, because there's some teachers and shit that fight them and be like, the fuck y'all doing? They're like, no, we're going to pass laws to make it so uncomfortable for you, you end up losing your job.
Keep in mind, they were saying just the kids, right? But these bills, now there's some in the mix that include eliminating college majors in gender studies.
What?
Now you're dictating the curriculum at these universities. You're dictating the curriculum now, right? The small government people. Nixing diversity efforts at universities and job protections for tenured faculty. Because they want you to be scared. They want you to be homogenous and scared. If you're not a white man, they want you scared. Scared to say anything a white man wouldn't say.
Right, because they know when black and brown and other people get tenure, a lot of times they be like, okay, let's talk about these white folks.
Well, they can't control the education the way they control the doctors.
Right.
With, because they're not making it like criminal to teach the stuff, but they want to be like, we'll get you fired because they do believe in cancel culture. Mm-hmm. But we'll get you fired. But you don't feel that way if you have tenure. You're like, you won't do shit. Like, I have this job until I don't have it anymore, and I don't give a fuck if you get mad. So they want to get rid of that. Mm-hmm. Strengthening parents' ability to veto K through 12 class material, extending a ban on teaching about gender and sexuality from 3rd grade up to 8th grade. And like I said, it's now 12th grade. I really wish that we as black people could do something like this where we could use these rules. I know we probably don't have the numbers, but it would be great if we could just use the same rules to be like, yeah, it makes black kids feel bad to learn about just some bullshit, like they'll learn about Ronald Reagan's presidency. Makes us feel bad as blacks. Take it out.
Like you said, take that bullshit out.
We just skipping. We going from Jimmy Carter to Bill Clinton. Like,
we don't care about anything in between.
We tired of this. Disney sues Ron DeSantis over control of the Florida park. I knew this was coming. Disney got too deep of pockets for this asshole to take them on nationally and them not retaliate. I was wondering when they were going to do something.
Because they was like, this fucker. No. And it was so fucked up is you trying to make the people there turn on them because y'all had a contract with Disney that goes, y'all control y'all land, y'all control y'all park, have your own police department, like everything was separate. So the people around them wouldn't be coughing up a lot of their costs, but he tried to strip that right. So now a lot of the costs that Disney is willing to pay out of pocket, they're like, nah, we're gonna push this around and make the people around y'all taxes grow up so that the people around them can quote unquote turn. It's goddamn Disney. They're like, you can't do this. Like, the fuck is this?
If speech is money and corporations are people.
Yes. Y'all passed that law now.
According to Republicans, this is what they say. They're gonna start fighting back like you coming after a person's rights in court, But yeah, they said that he is they're accusing the Republican court, accusing the Republican in court documents of launching a targeted campaign of government retaliation against the entertainment giant. Which is so crazy. Like I've expressed on here before. The Disney thing is so wild because we're all obsessed with this Disney shit, even as grown-ups. But like the people I know that are like extremely progressive are like, Disney doesn't ever go far enough. Oh, I want a fucking gay orgy on the screen, full sex, genitals,
children,
everything. I need the whole fucking shebang bang.
I need the asshole in my face. I'm an adult. You're like, dog, this is made for children.
I need like ass eating in the Eternals or whatever. And so like they need the full, like, they don't consider it support if like gay characters are holding hands or kissing on the cheek, but it's not like too sexual. They're like, it wasn't explicit enough, or it doesn't, And then of course Disney getting banned in every country that hates gay people for even putting two people in the movie and saying they're both wives. Right. So there's this catch-22 business wise, but they've decided to sacrifice some money to like Disney capitalism right underneath black capitalism for me. They decided to sacrifice some money because they think it's doing the right thing to have this representation. And I think that is kind of admirable because I think a craven corporate capitalist mentality would be like, don't put no gay people in nothing. People still gonna come see our Marvel movies. Fuck them. Let's just get this money and we'll get the Dubai money and we'll get the fucking Saudi Arabia money and we'll get. But they were like, no, China don't like gay people too bad, right? So they lose the entire China market. One day people will do a podcast and we'll be like, God damn, they must really be about it.
There's a lot of money. Yeah, that's why some movies, they come out over there, some movies don't, depending on what it is.
So my point being, they have shown sacrifice. They've picked a side, and the fucking Republicans are like woke Disney. Like, we hate them because they're fucking accepting and diverse, and mermaids are turning black, and fucking, like they're just like, what the fuck is happening to my Disney? I'm the person that loves Song of the South. I want I love the crows, my favorite part of Dumbo, like that's how they feel. So Ron DeSantis tried to galvanize his energy and take credit and be like, look at me, I'm Mr. I hate Disney.
But do you not know that Disney is like the biggest thing in your whole
he does know
state? Like,
his aspirations are out of Florida. He wants to run for president.
Right. So if I don't think it's gonna happen, but if Disney be like, you know what, all right, fuck it, we'll just leave. He wouldn't let the whole state tank.
Well,
give a fuck.
He's banking on Disney won't do that because of the location and all this stuff, but then he's using the laws that they use to court Disney to come down there to punish Disney, right? And my whole thing is like, they probably are too ingrained in Florida to just pull up the tent pole, right?
Yeah.
But they can fight. They got all the money in the goddamn world. Like, you're gonna be going to court with the Avengers. The state of Florida is gonna be going to court with, like, on your left cap. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, you're not gonna win. You're wasting everyone's time, but he just wants to,
taxpayers' money, but he don't care.
Yeah. So yeah, they said it threatens Disney's business operation, jeopardizes its economic future in the region, and violates its constitutional rights. After first noting Disney's immeasurable impact on Florida and its economy, the complaint accuses DeSantis of stifling constitutionally protected free speech and undertaking subsequent actions that are patently retaliatory, patently anti-business, and patently unconstitutional.
Yeah, they got proof of it.
I mean, he's been telling everybody that can hear him. Yeah, I just wish I was at the meeting when Disney finally decided to go back at his ass. Because I know they've been trying to fucking ignore this man.
Right. They'd be like, did you see this? Okay, you know what? Let's go on. Let's fuck it. Let's talk about, phase 45. All right, let's come on. He did something else. You know what? Fuck it. Somebody just got mad. Kevin Feige threw down his hat for once. Was like, fuck it.
Like, Disney's not stupid. If they can get by on a, Republicans buy shoes too type of situation, they would. Like, I think like they're like, we'll gay our stuff up a little bit to get the gay people to continue to support, and we'll put black people on stuff and try to make it good and get the black people support. Like, that's how they do it. I don't think they're necessarily like good people or trying to be good. I think they're trying to be smart. And so they will be like, listen, man, Republicans will tolerate some diversity if you just don't like worry about them bitching about it.
Right.
And DeSantis is like, nah, y'all need to go all the way back to Song of the South or else. Yeah, I just imagine that fucking conference room, and then there's no like lights on, and then at the big table, and motherfucking the CEO turns around. I was like, God damn it, I'm tired of this bullshit. Fucking meatball run. Well, I don't know what's going on. I think he made some good points.
He didn't make any good points. Fuck him.
You're such a goofy asshole.
All I'm trying to do is make cheese.
Do I look like I'm laughing?
There's nothing funny about this. He was like, fuck it. Let's take that shit to trial.
And now we should make. I can't do it, Donald. All right. I don't know how to do Make America Great Again in Donald. All right. Let's move on. Talked about this enough. Let's do some fucking with black people. See if I get that out.
Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people.
Oklahoma County leaders caught on audio talking about killing reporters and complaining they can no longer lynch black people.
The shit that people think y'all say anyway.
This is worse than what I think they say.
I mean, like I said, it's worse than our imagination, but at least we can say we ain't crazy.
You ain't wrong, Karen. I'm just saying it's even like I think it's not that I don't imagine them talking like I guess thinking shit like this. I'm just like, who's stupid enough to keep talking like this out loud? Oh, let's see if I can play this video. Oh, this is long, 5 minutes. We won't be getting all of this.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is calling for the resignation of several local officials following an audio recording of them allegedly reminiscing about lynching, among other hateful conversations. According to the McCurtain Gazette News, a reporter left his tape recorder behind after a local meeting when he suspected officials were discussing county business after the public had left. NBC News has not verified the audio.
And he found out they were doing something way worse than just counting the business. He was expected to get some like, listen, I think we should annex the area so we can get some more revenue.
Right, and end up getting more than he bargained for.
Well, I don't care what they say. It's time to raise property tax. That's what he was. He was like, I bet when he picked up that motherfucking audio later, where he was like, you know, when he found his tape recorder and was like expecting to hear the shit we was talking about, like, oh, so they are gonna annex it. And the first thing he heard was like, I just think we should hang some niggers.
Oh my God. That's his whole response the whole time.
Had to be like just holding that, just Donald Glover with the pizza box. Oh my God.
Nor we received comment from those allegedly involved, but in the clips, it appears the officials were talking about plans to beat, kill, and hide the bodies of that same local reporter and his father, making barbecue jokes about a local woman who died in a recent house fire and complaining that they could no longer lynch black people. A warning.
Wow. Or as Joe Rogan calls it, set at his comedy club.
That what you're about to hear is both disturbing and offensive.
Realized like your job. I heard the other day said, I heard 10 or 12 people going to the sheriff. I said, let's get 20. They don't have a clue what they're getting into.
Oh, yeah,
not
because but everybody.
I'm gonna tell you something. If it was back in the day, when I would take a damn black guy, whoop their ass and throw them in the cell, I'd run for sheriff. Yeah.
If it was back in the day, when okay, so and so ran would take a damn black guy, whoop their ass, and throw them in the cell, I'd run for fucking sheriff.
I know.
And the sheriff is the one going, yeah, well, it's not like that no more. What I find funny about that phrasing is that it feels like the sheriff is saying this man went too far. He don't want to come out to say it. So he say it with his chest like, hey, but he want to be like, hey, I don't throw people in cell. I don't. In case anyone's recording, I've never thrown a black person in cell and beat them.
I have not done this.
That's not the kind of thing we do anymore.
For the record,
that's the old days before I got the job.
Got on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope. Yeah. But you can't do that. Think about it, they got more rights than we got.
What?
Hold up. Not being able to be lynched is more of a right than white people have right now. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to lynch everybody right now. I'm sure some Republicans would vote against that, and did. That's a fact. You can look it up. Mm-hmm. But more rights? Are you serious? You can't even fucking lynch these niggas anymore. It's like they got all the goddamn rights, you know? It's like the opposite of a NASCAR track. It's all rights. You know, I hate it. Swear to God. Thinking about killing one the other day. I was like, oh, is that still on the books? Let me go look it up. It is still. It's a 1740. I looked up the code.
Still on the books.
Joining me now from Tulsa is anchor at our
Not Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh my.
JRH affiliate, Aaron Christie. Aaron, thank you very much.
Two white women about to break it down.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
They didn't get the black reporter who recorded it. I want to see what he got to say.
Right, right.
Or maybe they couldn't have him on. Maybe he was too mad still.
He fight mad.
Yeah,
I'd have been
on the phone. This song he wants to talk about. He recorded this, and then they were saying they were gonna lynch him. Hey, how's it going tonight, man? Fuck them crackers. All right, going to commercial real quick.
We've been back after these messages.
We've been brought to you by Nissan. Not anymore. Okay. No sponsor for this segment.
Conversation, we started with him talking about multiple people. Those are people who were talking about running for sheriff in the county. That's why he's saying, yeah, bring 10, 20 more and they can figure out how hard it is to do the job. That's when he goes on to say the offensive stuff.
Exactly. Yes. And thank you so much for having me on today. The community obviously horrified, they're outraged, especially about those comments about lynching and hiring hitmen. However, there is also a lot of people out there who aren't shocked about this because they've been reading a lot of articles that have been running in the paper, and they're grateful that it was this article that finally got a larger media presence on the situation going on in McCurtain County.
So what is happening in McCurtain County? Why are these officials talking?
When they say a lot of people that weren't surprised, who you think they talking about?
Niggas. They was like, look, we knew these fuckers was racist. We couldn't have it on the books. We know they racist, and I'm glad somebody else was like, bitch, yes, they racist.
Yeah, now that I know this, and I know the reporter was black, maybe he did know they were going to say some racist stuff, and he set them up, Like maybe he before he left the room and pressed play on the recording thing, he was like, all right, well, I got to get back home to my white wife and our non-binary children. Gonna take them to watch The Black Little Mermaid tonight. Anyway, gonna hit the dusty old trail and just say this thing on 1 2 1 2. Gonna get on out of here tonight, and I'll just come back for this bag in an hour or so. Talk amongst yourselves. Maybe that's what happened. Oh God, I wish we could lynch him.
Talking like that.
So the McCurtain Gazette they're an independent local newspaper. They have zero online presence, and this is a very rural area. But they are not like a community-based paper where you think of festivals. This is an investigative unit. So they put together an 8-part piece, and they have had multiple claims.
They was like, we ain't even online. Fuck y'all. We taking it old school. We got an 8-part series, and we've been doing some investigation.
Do you know what kind of in the heat of the night ass racism this town got to be dealing with for the local paper to be an investigative paper? You know what I'm saying? Like for the local paper to be like, we can't trust nobody. We got to get some undercover sources to figure out what the fuck is happening in our county. Yeah, it's got to be some old school magnifique racism.
They done got to the point where they be going old school. They was like, don't bring no fucking phones in here. Leave them bitches at the house. We gonna old school. We don't want nothing recording us.
Who?
Talking about the people that just was covering the store newspaper. Because you say old school. Like they was like, yeah, we going old school. We gonna do this investigation. And we don't want no shit leaking. We ain't online. Like this is one of them type of thing where they're like, we really going old school because we don't want anything impeding or somebody getting tipped off or coming and shutting us down and have to do with fucking harassment. Like these people have been literally harassed enough that they know how the shit runs. Where they was like, no, we gonna be off the books.
Of corruption within the sheriff's office, questionable promotions, improper investigations, and it was angering the sheriff's office. And the reporter, Chris Willingham, filed a defamation lawsuit because after those articles appeared, according to this lawsuit, Alicia Manning, one of the people in the recording, retaliated by telling a third party via teleconference that the reporter was exchanging weed for child pornography. So he has filed a slander lawsuit against them, and that is when They were in that commissioner's meeting talking about hiring potentially hitmen to kill the publisher and the reporter.
Well, let me play that audio. We have that.
God damn. They got all the audio.
I let it. She was ready with it. She's like, oh, yep.
We got that one too.
Yeah, but the thing of it is,
we actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys.
Yeah.
And would cut no mercy.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, because it was all mafia around Louisiana.
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Chris Willingham's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the bad guys? Yeah.
They also
woof. These white people are scared. They talking about killing people.
And then you wonder why niggas like me is like, vote, hold people accountable, don't get soft.
Well, see, that's the thing though. We don't know what the black population is in this county.
That's true.
They might not even have enough black people. Like, this is representation in some parts of America.
Yes, and
I know what you're saying. Just saying, this particular issue, voting might not even like black. They like the black people was pretty active, but you in some rural fucking place or some place where you don't got the voting power. What do you do?
Yes, and the thing is, voting all the way. Local municipalities matter, and national municipalities matter. And the reason why I said voting matters across the board is because if you get enough of these fuckers out of office just in general, the federal government and all can pass shit where they can be like, oh, y'all doing some fuck shit, and start coming and investigating and holding them accountable. So it all boils down to people voting.
You're absolutely right.
To talk about 2 big, deep holes. They're pre-dug holes that they have. The governor is calling for their resignation. What's the word from these officials?
We were out there yesterday. We have not been able to speak directly to any of the people in the recording. However, Sheriff Kevin Clarity responded on Facebook last night. He's indicating he believes the recordings have not been authenticated. He's investigating.
Oh, he don't.
So you think he fucking made that bullshit up?
That is so good. Oh my God. Not him with the I was hacked. Okay. He did not just hit us with the like, hey, how you know that wasn't AI? Okay, ChatGPT could have did that. Y'all don't know. I don't see no cameras. Okay. They got me on camera. That's so good.
Those now, and he says they were illegally obtained. He made no statements regarding the topics discussed or the recording or any indication that he or anyone else plans to resign. So what happens with that is yet to be said.
They've not been authenticated, but also they were illegally obtained. Those statements appear to be in conflict with each other. Aaron Christie, thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, jokes.
Well, that's a great observation too. Yeah. All right, Karen. 0 to 100.
Oh, this gets a Jakaris. Get all the flames, because I guarantee you this is some bullshit that's been happening in this community for a long ass time. And the reason why is because you had an underground fucking newspaper that didn't have no online presence. They did an 8-piece article and they came out and investigated. So that means, like you say, y'all out here in like 1892 with the bullshit. They was like, nope, we are tired of y'all white folks acting that motherfucking fool. And the thing is, this shit happens all across the country. And it's one of those things where it frustrates me, because I'm not trying to be funny and not to go on a rant again, but I am, because this is one of the things that makes me upset when these niggas in these big cities act like these niggas in the small cities in these rural towns don't fucking matter, and they act like, well, you're there because you want to live there. Well, bitch, you know what? Your grandma, your grandpa, your papa, your family probably came from this no town motherfucker. Like, your family probably has some roots down here somewhere, but because you quote unquote in the big city and you act like that, the shit will never trickle your way, you can turn around and judge the people in these communities and act like it's their fault for the abuse that they're receiving, when that's not so. It's not so. Just because the abuse is not the same. Racism is all across the board, and I think people think their racism is a special racism, and the other people racism is their fault. That's why when it comes to the stop and frisk shit up north, people up in New York complaining about that. Well, bitch, I'm just as mad about that as I'm mad about this. But when you talk to some people, they are only mad about stop and frisk, but they're not mad about these people down here in these bummerfuck towns out of nowhere where they have to deal with the shit on a more regular basis than you do. They don't live in places where they can literally be in their community, and not the white folks won't bother them, but you can go to a quote unquote safe space. It's different when you're in the town of thousands and not millions, 20-something thousand people, and only 10% or 5% or 2% of the population is black, and you're fucking getting harassed, and you are the reason why they hit their tax breaks and make their taxes, because they want to fine you and fear you. You can't do shit. You can't go nowhere. They're harassing your kids. That shit's get old, and it's one of those things where for me, that's why I said voting matters. Voting matters from the top to the motherfucking bottom. It matters. Because like I said, bullshit like this is going to happen, but when you have administrators and people on the top that people have put in the office, they can come around and say, stop this shit. They can come around and fine them and feed them and force them to resign. That's the bullshit. That's how the change is going to happen. The change isn't going to happen from you sitting on your ass and complaining all the time about how nothing's going right and nothing going your way, but yet you complain and you act like the people that's fucking fighting in the street for your rights ain't shit, and they're not supposed to get paid for the shit that you're not willing or going to do in your lifetime. You're not going to go out and march and fight in the street. Like to me, this whole thing fucking makes me angry. It just makes me angry that he had to get a recording and get this for people to be like, oh shit, it's fucked up. Yeah, the niggas down there been saying it's fucked up for a long ass time and nobody believed them.
Yeah, and how comfortable did they have to feel with not just each other, but just their untouchability to have that kind of conversation in a public space, that the people taxes paid for. That, like, they must have been so fucking comfortable, because that was not like code switching racism. That wasn't I don't know if this person's on my side or not, so let me just test the waters. Was I don't know if this is a Italian gentleman with a tan or a very light-skinned Haitian and Irish JL Covan. I don't know which one it is, so let me float some racism. No, this was deep into the pool racism. Just
right.
Like, remember the good old days, you could just lynch a nigga for nothing. Now they got more rights than us. I know that's right. I wish I had a hitman to kill this nigga. And like, oh y'all, this is racism advanced classes. This is graduate level.
Right. And like I said, it's one of those things where it just frustrates me sometimes about the divide that sometimes I see, where niggas go, well, we're better than them niggas over there. No, we all niggas. Like, I hope you understand, when it comes to racism, they don't see good niggas, bad niggas, rich niggas, poor niggas. They see niggas.
Mm-hmm. One of the people, the county commissioner, apparently has resigned. He was one of the people that was on the tape. I don't know if the other three resigned, but the county commissioner, Mark Jennings, he says he's resigned immediately and that he plans to release a formal statement in the near future regarding the recent events in our country. Nigga, the recent events in your conference room. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing you should be talking about. And a statement that makes me think his statement is gonna be some bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean some non-apology shit, but some like, it's sad when woke cancel culture can get you put out of a job as an elected official. You can't even, it's like, I feel like you don't even have freedom of speech no more, something like that.
And I know the move. When you do this, you know what's going to happen. He's getting ready to lawyer up, because a lot of times when shit like this happen, they go, well, we're afraid of lawsuits, like individually lawsuits against us for being on these recordings. So it would not be surprising, even the people that don't resign, they're going to start lawyering up so they can shut the fuck up.
Well, especially if you were talking about hiring hitmen and killing them. Yes. That's not even just some, defamation shit. That's some potential criminal shit.
So. Everybody getting ready to get lawyers.
But yeah, and there's an investigation into him. I give it a Dracarys as well. pretty damn terrible.
Yes, it is. It's horrible. Yeah. And my heart goes out to the people that live in that community, because this is something that isn't instantly going to go away. And it's also something where my heart goes out, where it goes, okay, will there be any form of retaliation that we will never hear about against the people in that town, in that community, because this shit came out? That's the bullshit that happens when shit like this breaks.
Well, the thing is, if it happens and we never hear about it, we'll never know. So you can never disprove that thesis. Next, unsealed text showed Daniel Perry made racist comments and expressed his desire to kill before shooting a Black Lives Matter protester. Newly unsealed court documents show that during the months leading up to a Black Lives Matter protest, Garrett Foster's death, Daniel Perry, who made racist remarks and discussed his desire to kill protesters. Wait, Daniel Perry, who? Oh, Daniel Perry made racist remarks and discussed his desire to kill protesters often. Days after the death of George Floyd at the hands of the police, Perry texted, "I might go to Dallas to shoot looters." In a Facebook message 2 days later, he allegedly stated that he is in Dallas. While he is in Dallas, no protesters go near me or my car. "Can you catch me a Negro, Daddy?" one man replied. "This is what I'm hoping," he said. In June, Perry had sent a text that said that the bars were closing. "The blacks gather up in a group. I think something is about to happen." He said, "I wonder if they will let me cut the ears off of people who decide to commit suicide by me." On Thursday, evidence from his phone records and social media accounts, included in court documents, were made public. So I guess they had him in the courtroom, but it was sealed, but now it's publicly available. In March, the 82-page sealed document was submitted by the prosecution, but much of it was not presented to the jury. They convicted this man without hearing some of this. That's wild. How fucking racist was the other shit?
Woo! They was like, we don't even need it.
Usually, information depicting a defendant's character is often not allowed to be introduced while a jury weighs guilt versus innocence, but it becomes relevant in a sentencing hearing. The thing that's interesting is, and this is just the white justice system in America, how would that not be relevant to him killing a Black Lives Matter protester?
Right.
Like, that seems pretty relevant to me, but I guess I'm just a simple country lawyer. Before and after Floyd's murder, Perry sent out racist and anti-Muslim messages. Now why are they in it?
Now why am I in it?
What did the Muslims do?
They was like, what do we got to do with it?
According to court documents, he also posted a meme April 2020 that read, "When your daughter's first crush is a little Negro boy," featuring a picture of a mother placing her child's head underwater in the bathtub. In another text, he said, "Too bad we can't get paid for hunting Muslims in Europe." Last week, Perry was found guilty in Travis County of fatally shooting Foster in July 2020. Foster, a white Air Force veteran, was struck by Perry's car as it plowed through a crowd of protesters. According to Perry's attorneys, Foster, who was legally allowed to carry in Texas, raised his rifle during the incident, which caused Perry to shoot Foster 5 times with his handgun through the window of his car. Witnesses say that Foster never raised his gun. Conservative politicians have faulted the progressive prosecutor for pursuing the case, claiming the act was pure self-defense in the face of dangerous protests. So this motherfucker, the only person that's seen the guy point the gun at him, and he just also happened to be the dude that sent out all these texts about protesters and killing people and hating black people and shit. In an unprecedented move, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, announced his intention to pardon Perry for the murder less than a day after the conviction. He asked the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles to provide him with the legally required recommendation as quickly as possible. Texas has one of the strongest stand-your-ground laws of self-defense that cannot be nullified by a jury or a progressive district attorney, Abbott wrote on Twitter. "I look forward to approving the board's pardon recommendation as soon as it hits my desk." If convicted, Perry could face 5 years to life, unless the parole board and Abbott intervened. On Friday, Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza said that his office continues to maintain the Board of Pardons and Parole should consider the entirety of the trial record prior to issuing a final recommendation to the governor. "This case is not yet concluded," he said. "There's going to be even more additional evidence that the judge will hear at sentencing. We're not even done with this yet."
Ain't that the dude did another dude like was running against him like twice and ended up losing. That's another state.
Yeah, Beto.
Right. And so, it's one of those days I'm looking like, okay, like, yeah, people came out and was like, hey, dog, something about you ain't right. And the voters still in mass, white people, said, fuck it.
And that's after the Uvalde school shooting. And
after they ice storm too, right?
Yeah, and that town went for him. Yeah. So but yeah, for me, this is a Dracarys.
Same.
It's pretty terrible. And just the way that it's all about signaling, right? Because pardoning this man isn't about governing, it's not about passing laws, it's not even about justice. It's just signaling to a certain type of white supremacy and white supremacist people that you're one of them. That's all it's about. So this isn't even really about the white dude that got killed by this white dude at the march. It's really just about what are my QAnons thinking? What are my MAGA people thinking? They'll throw everyone's life away for the power of being in office. So, but yeah, Dracarys for me, Karen.
Thanks.
All right, we've gone on for quite some time now. I think it's time for some sword ratchetness, okay? Karen has some very serious words that I want y'all to think about when it comes to voting.
I do. I take that shit serious. I'm like a broken record, but I'm gonna say it.
But she's gonna say it, okay? And if you from the north and you think it's all sweet down here, and you think that you better watch yourself, I know y'all heard what she said. All right, sword ratchetness.
I think you the picking at me. I'm not picking on y'all people up north, but I'm just stating.
We know it's one of your triggers, Karen.
It is.
You can't take it back. It is.
Anyone
that's listening to these episodes know that certain things come up, they expect you to go off. Same way people, as soon as they hear me talk about Disney, they're expecting the Mickey Mouse voice. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Person sleeping in a car with a large sword and a handgun arrested in Michigan.
Oh shit! Who is this, John Wick? What is this?
Yeah, I like hell of a combination. It felt like the main character from Underworld or something. Now, this person from North Carolina was arrested in Michigan, so they were heading the right direction, away from us. After they were found sleeping in a car with a handgun with a large sword and over 100 rounds of ammunition and drug paraphernalia.
Oh shit!
So you talking about one of them responsible gun owners? In Shiawassee County Sheriff's Office said he was responsible until he didn't shoot nobody, so technically it don't count. Said it was called to a home because of an unwanted subject. When deputies arrived, they found the person sleeping in the car. Officials said the subject arrived at the home and started making disturbing remarks. Oh man. The county sheriff's office said the suspect was arrested and taken to county jail on weapons charges and was awaiting arraignment. Yeah, get them off the streets. We don't need that kind of bullshit in my America. All right, y'all, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all. Don't forget, if you want to sign up for the coronavirus deal, it's a great time till May 15th. If you had it last year, you get the deal again. If long it just auto renews. So all right, y'all. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Make sure you vote. Don't be